Do you ever get something wrong? Yeah, me neither. Now, actually, I'm just kidding because there are plenty of times that I have been wrong about movies. I know some of you might be shocked about that, but I am here to freely admit it. And in this video, I have 10 movies that I used to hate, or at least I really didn't like, and it has taken me many years, many viewings to come around and appreciate, and in some case, downright love these movies. Now, I have done movies that I love or used to love, but I just can't love them anymore. Movies that I can't stand now, overrated movies. Tonight is the opposite trip on this one because these are 10 movies that I genuinely disliked for one reason or another, and we're going to talk about that. Or maybe I just avoided them completely, and now I have completely changed my mind on. We're going to count them down. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so we're going to come out swinging on this. Movies that I used to hate, and now not so much. But this one is probably going to surprise you, some of you, because some of you probably still hate this movie. And I am talking about Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. And I know, hold on to your hats there, because I was about 20 years old or so when this movie hit theaters. And being a huge Star Wars fan, this movie was an event to look forward to. It absolutely was. I went with my uncle, Harold. Yes, the one from my ghost stories and stuff on the farm. More about him during spooky season. And we went and stood in line and got in to see this movie. And we were just two grown, excited men to go see Star Wars. But it didn't take that long for Jar Jar Binks to become relentlessly exhausting, annoying, and wanting to, choke him with his own big fake elastic CGI ears. And the whole film felt like it was missing something completely. Like the charm that the original had, the heart that the original had, the original trilogy with that cast, everything. This one was glossier, but colder. And here's the thing, though. As you watch this more, particularly when compared to the Disney sequels, this one actually does have a little bit more charm to it than you remember. If you can look past Jar Jar Binks, this has a great villain design with Darth Maul, who's underused. He's completely underused in this. And then Ewan McGregor as a young Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's really good in this when you look back at it. And then you have Liam Neeson bringing genuine gravitas to Qui-Gon Jinn, and you really wish you had a whole lot more Qui-Gon Jinn throughout the series. When you compare it to the Disney sequels, it steps up a notch. It still doesn't hold a candle to the original trilogy, but the prequels have grown on me over time. This one more than any, because I couldn't stand Jar Jar Binks. I always pretty much really like the third one in this series, Revenge of the Sith. But this one has grown on me, and I actually enjoy this movie now. Okay, the next, I'm already laughing because as I'm going through this list, I realize there's probably a lot of you out here that he's crazy. He should have kept his original opinion of a lot of these movies. But the next one on this list is Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman. Yes, Batman vs. Superman. I hated this movie when it came out. This is I was already had one against the Snyderverse because of what he did, allowing Clark to let his father die via tornado to protect his secret in Man of Steel, another movie that I've come around on, and things like that are out of character because I'm a huge Superman fan. But I went and saw this one with my buddy Justin, and this felt like an endless trailer to start with. Choppy, the overstuffed, weird momentum, no breathing room, things that didn't seem like they were cut together correctly. And then just in the past year or so, I watched the full unedited director's cut that extends this movie by a good bit, 30, 40 minutes or something. It's a whole lot longer. And that connective tissue that was not in the theatrical release changed this movie for me. It put a lot of things that were missing entirely. Does it still have problems? Yes, but it is much more entertaining, a lot more enjoyable. This was back when they were trying to cut movies shorter, I guess, and now they don't worry about that with superhero movies. But this one is a whole lot better to me now. And I went and got a nice deluxe set of it because I actually enjoy it. And when you compare, again, DC with Snyder's DC with whatever James Gunn is doing, it makes it look better by comparison. But I actually do enjoy this movie much more now. All right, the next one is, I think universally, a lot of people consider this a bad film. And I guess I kind of did too back then. It is Jaws 3D. So this is part 3 of Jaws. And as a kid, like, it was fine. Like, it was cool. It was like Jaws at SeaWorld, and I went to Florida all the time and all that, but it wasn't great. It was missing the Spielberg-esque small town energy. It was missing Chief Brody and Amity and all those things that we gotten used to. And you had like the gimmicky, cheesy 3D effects in the movie and the shark. But as I've gotten older, I'm just going to tell you, this one has a soft spot for me. Like, I know how they shot this with the different processes, the cameras and all that, and I appreciate what they were doing back then, trying to be a little innovative. The cast is actually great in this movie. I love the cast in the film, and I'm unashamed to say that I now completely enjoy the nostalgia of this and the cast and everything that goes with it. So I am around to loving this for what it is rather than what it isn't. Jaws 3D. Okay, the next one I didn't like as a kid for a completely different reason. It's Poltergeist Part 2. And again, it lost the Spielberg, Tobe Hooper charm and all of the just epic movie, iconic film energy of the first. But that's not why I didn't like it then. I didn't like it because Reverend Kane terrified me. He's the creepiest dude ever in a movie. And honestly, he's still pretty damn creepy overall. But that fear kind of like, I don't really want to watch that movie too much. I don't want to watch it. It doesn't have the magic of the first one. Plus, that guy's creepy. And I didn't want to watch it. And it is missing a lot of what the original did. It really is. But the mythology is there. The ghosts are still there. Watching it now with some distance between being that kid looking for those things, and you really see the performances are good. The performance as Reverend Kane is really good. It's legitimately a good filmmaking. It's an incredible 4K, helps bring it to life. I have found a whole lot more to like about this movie than I used to. Poltergeist 2, The Other Side. Now, the next one is one that you may find on another list of VHS horror cover artwork that lied to us, or you might find it on some of the best VHS cover art ever for horror movies. If I do those videos again, I did one like that everybody liked. That didn't have anything to do really with why I didn't like the movie. It's April Fool's Day. And this, yeah, I mean, part of being a kid, you saw this and you saw her hair as a noose and all that, and you're like, man, that's cool artwork. And then that's not really what you got from the movie at all. So you might hear about that later, just saying. Because this one could actually fall into 2 categories, because it lies like a rug, but it's also really, really cool. And without spoiling this movie and giving away the big reveal, what I didn't like about this movie is the big reveal, the big twist, how it came out in the end. It made me feel like I had lost something. It had cheapened the ride, all those things. But now I see it completely different. I mean, I still have a little bit of that in there, but I actually see it as really unique and taking a genuinely different angle on the slasher genre than you were getting at the time that this movie came out. And that is something that I enjoy the film for. Taking a big swing and putting together a good cast and doing all this, whether or not you think it lands or not, you have to appreciate that. It does have way less impact once you've watched this movie once, and definitely once you've watched it a couple of times, but it's still much better, and I have less complaints about it now than I used to. Now, the next one, I admit, I'm not a Western guy. There are a bunch of Westerns that I do like, but I'm not like a hardcore Western guy. And this one I didn't like because it was constantly playing on TBS. It was worn out. Everybody played it in the background. You got tired of seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And here's the thing about this. I have come to like this movie and the Dollars trilogy much more. I have famously said I think these three films from Sergio Leone are better than Once Upon a Time in the West. I take any of them. And honestly, this isn't my favorite of the trilogy. That actually might be for a few dollars more. I like the kind of team up in that one. But I like all three of these. But when I was a kid, this thing was always on in the background, just constantly. I wanted action movies. I wanted raunchy comedies. I wanted horror. And every time the TV went on, this thing was on TBS or somewhere, and it drove me crazy. And I didn't want 3 hours of slow burn Western at the time. So I hated it. I got so aggravated. It was on all the time. And I'm still not a huge Western guy, but as I gotten older, you study this film and you study the cinematography and things before he went overboard with it, in my opinion, in Once Upon a Time in the West. This one carries real weight to it, beautiful cinematography, and Clint Eastwood through this whole trilogy is kind of mythic through here, and I really like that. I don't just tolerate this movie now. I actually like it. I appreciate it. I like the whole Dollars trilogy. And I love studying it as a work of film to learn from. So I have come a long way on the good and the bad and the ugly and the whole Dollars trilogy. I really like this one now, and it's not even my favorite of the trilogy. All right, the next one is one I talked about like a month or so ago on a different kind of list, but it really deserves to be here. It's 2010's The Clash of the Titans. And I was dead set against this one from the moment I heard about it coming out. Every frame of it, I went to see it and begrudgingly listen, because I love the original Ray Harryhausen stop motion, real Greek god mythology and mythos behind it. And I taught ancient Greek history, so I'm super partial to it. And when this remake came out, I was actually actively teaching when this remake came out, and the mythology behind it is all, like, it got me into the theater. It did. But oh my God, this overuse of CGI, some of the things that were changed, a little bit of the wooden acting, it just put me off of it. I really wanted to refuse to watch it ever again on pure principle. But I came around. I learned to embrace the cheese the same way I embraced the cheese of the Ray Harryhausen version, and just getting that release the Kraken and just all of immersing yourself in that ancient Greek world. I want it every single time. And we just don't get this epic movie, Greek mythology stuff enough. So you got to take what you can get. And this is like myth adjacent popcorn entertainment, and I love it. It doesn't all have to be historically accurate into the detail, but as long as it lives up to the spirit and the heart of those things. This does that in a way that the Odyssey doesn't by Christopher Nolan. I'm sorry. Clash of the Titans 2010, I would watch 5 times over before choosing Nolan's The Odyssey. Now, the next one is one that's a little bit different because the original film is an iconic legend of a film that I actually don't like as much as most people. I actually prefer the sequel. I'm talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And this is the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel and a beautiful, awesome cast from like 2003. And the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is very real, gritty, sweaty, sun-drenched, but it's a little too real. I don't get into that movie as much as I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with my man Bill Moseley and Carolyn Williams, and it's a lot more fun. Comedy, has like the Breakfast Club cover. This one is more like the original, but it's slicker. It's more polished. It's got Marcus Nispel directing, and he did the Friday the 13th 2009 remake, which I also love. So that movie is in my mind. You have both of these from this filmmaker because they both have that same kind of feel to them. And it was liking the 2009 Friday the 13th movie that actually got me to go back and give this one more of a chance again. Now, it has enough slick edge to take off some of the grime of the original so that it doesn't feel like you're watching this horrible documentary about what's happening, and that makes me like it. more. I know a lot of you are about to get very mad at me. But from a pure enjoyment standpoint, not talking about filmmaking, a pure enjoyment standpoint, I would put this second in the franchise behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 as far as enjoyment to watch. That's how far I have come around on it. Check it out. It's awesome action. It's got a good aesthetic. It's got a beautiful, awesome cast. What more do you want? Come around on it if you haven't, and you'll feel just like me, and you'll appreciate this a little bit more. All right, so the next one is one that I had not watched in many years until the 4K came out, and I am talking about Jackie Brown. And this one I have come a long way on, like maybe the farthest of any, because being a big Tarantino fan, my first reaction to this one was a little bit disappointed. I felt like he had sort of crossed over into trying to make a straight, somewhat slow crime drama, and I just didn't go back to it for years because I'm not huge on crime dramas anyway. But about a year ago, like when this came out on 4K, I watched it. Number one, it's one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. Great restoration, but I think I was completely wrong on the movie. I really do, because this might be Tarantino's most underrated film in his entire library, and it is definitely squarely in my top 5 Tarantino films now. Of course, this one has Pam Grier. She is great in this movie. I love Pam Grier anyway. Fantastic. It's got a patience in the storytelling here. It's not so frenetic, and I appreciate it more for its strengths rather than looking for its weaknesses. I love the color palette of the movie. I love the look and the feel of the movie. I regret ignoring it for all these years. Now, it's not my favorite Tarantino movie. That's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's Inglourious Bastards. Those are above it for sure. And maybe Pulp Fiction. I don't know. It gets tough for me after the first two. First two are clear for me, but this one has moved up in the top 5. Jackie Brown, I have come so far on. If you haven't given it a chance in a long time, acting is amazing in this. Check out Jackie Brown. And I love the music in it. Across 110th Street playing. This movie's got it all for me. I love it. Check out Jackie Brown. All right, and finally on this list, oh man, I have told the story about how much I have avoided David Lynch. I was a filmmaker, I'm still a professional filmmaker, I taught film studies and film production, all of that. I avoided Lynch for so long because I felt like he was pretentious, making these overly surreal, nightmarish, incoherent, time slippage movies, and then not wanting to tell people, interviewers, audience, anything, what they were about. I just felt like it was pretentious. And then my man Tyler Poe, one of the very first channel member on this channel, one of the first subscribers to the channel, sent me Blue Velvet on 4K. And finally, I watched it. Even as a film teacher, I wasn't watching David Lynch. I really wasn't. Outside of Dune. I had watched Dune, which is weird on its own. But listen, this movie does its job. And when you really watch David Lynch, I realized he doesn't tell anybody, or he didn't tell anybody, because he wants you to figure it out for yourself. Like, he gives you a full 3-act structure. He gives you a complete story from beginning to end. So it's not the same complaint I have for something like No Country for Old Men that doesn't fulfill the basic requirements of storytelling at the end. He gives you that, but he wants you to get out of it what you bring into it. And if you watch every David Lynch movie, assuming the devil himself is in every movie, it changes it completely. And this one, I love it. The creepy, like, just underneath what's happening in suburbia, under the white picket fences, under the idyllic nature. I absolutely love it. It's a great 4K. I just give it a real honest watch like I did. David Lynch may take you a couple of tries to get into, and you've got to be in the regular, like, state of mind Because you can't go into it like sad. You can't go into it overexcited. You just got to be on an even keel whenever you go in to see David Lynch. And I get that he wasn't being difficult for the sake of being difficult or pretentious. I am a massive David Lynch fan. It broke me that when I became such a fan, he basically passed away a couple of months later. That killed me. Dive into it. It may not hit on the first try, second try, third try, but your patience is rewarded with Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, any of his movies. Just watch it knowing the devil is in every one of his movies, and it will change everything that happens. It did for me. Blue Velvet is number one. So there you go. 10 movies that I used to really dislike. Maybe I hated, maybe I just couldn't stand them. Maybe I didn't want to give them a chance. And now I have come around and I love these movies. I enjoy watching these movies. I enjoy them for what they are, what they're trying to do, and I appreciate them so much more. The honest truth is, for the most part, movies do not change. You change. Movies don't change. You change. You might watch them when you're young and love them. And then somewhere along the time later, you watch them again. You're like, how did I ever like this? And then you watch them again 5 or 10 years later and you're a different person. You're like, oh yeah, I see it. This is why I love them. And it could go the other way too. But it all has to do with you and what you bring into it, just like David Lynch was trying to say. And as you change, the movie changes for you. There is no such thing as this movie aged great or this movie aged bad. It's all about you and what you bring to the story. And these changed in my way because I changed and I appreciate what they were doing in a different way. And now they're a blast. And that's what I got for you this time. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, hype up the video. That helps out the channel as we are rocketing into spooky season on Saturday, August 29th. We kick off spooky season. 2 full months of Halloween nostalgia, Halloween history, horror movies, horror movie history, and everything that goes along with Halloween and our pop culture memories of it will all be here on the channel, and I hope you are along for the ride. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. It's Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.